Good evening. Welcome to another Black History Moment. We are still in Women's History Month, Extraordinary African Americans. Sojourner Truth, abolitionist, women's rights activist, preacher, 1797 to 1883. I have borne 13 children and seen them almost all sold off into slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard. Sojourner Truth. They called her a pilgrim of God because she said the Lord had sent her to travel the countryside and declare the truth unto people. Born in 1797 in Hurley, New York, Sojourner Truth, originally named Isabella Bumfree, sought in religion a sanctuary from the terrible cruelties she suffered as a slave. Sold 4 times, she ran away in 1826, 2 years before slavery was officially abolished in New York. With the help of a Quaker family, she won a lawsuit to have her son returned to her. He had been sold at age 5 to a slave owner in Alabama. For the next few years, Truth worked in New York and attended various churches, hoping to satisfy her religious yearnings. In 1843, she said, a voice from God told her to leave the city and take the name Sojourner. The voice told her to travel up and down the land, showing the people their sins and being a sign unto them. When she asked the Lord for a second name, He gave her the name Truth, because she was to tell everyone the truth about slavery. For nearly 20 years, Truth traveled across the country speaking out on slavery and women's rights. Though not an eloquent speaker, she was dramatic and very effective. Her statements on slavery won her the respect of Frederick Douglass, William Lloyd Garrison, and other well-known abolitionists, and in 1864 she was invited to meet with Abraham Lincoln at the White House. When the Civil War began, Truth raised money for African American Union soldiers by lecturing and singing. In 1862, she moved to Arlington, Virginia, near Washington, D.C., to help newly freed slaves adjust to freedom. It was there that she became the first freedom rider. Until 1865, horse cars in Washington were segregated. When Congress outlawed segregation, Truth decided to test the new law. One day, after several horse cars refused to stop for her, she stood in the middle of the road, waving her arms and shouting, "I want to ride! I want to ride!" Before long, a crowd gathered and forced the next horse car to stop. Truth climbed aboard and refused to move when the conductor tried to throw her off. Unable to budge her, the conductor gave in. Truth was not quite through making her point, however. To make sure everyone was aware of the new law, she had the conductor arrested and fired. Truth spent the remainder of her life trying to obtain land out west for newly freed slaves. She died on November 23rd, 1883. Thank you for listening to this Black History Moment.